We're here at the Hyatt Regency Live2Lead Port of Spain 2019. To bring some context here, we have His Worship, the Mayor of Port of Spain, Mr. Joel Martinez. Tell us a little bit about your experience here today.
Well, first of all, it was awesome. I have to say, as you know, as I was indicating based on a conversation I was having with Teresa just now, I really didn't realize what I was coming to because I'd only gotten the letter yesterday. However, when I walked in and I realized what it was about, and I saw John Maxwell on the screen, and having been to a John Maxwell presentation years ago, I realized that I was in a good place at a good time. So basically, I was indicating to her that I had a lot of appointments lined up, so I was really going to just pass through this morning.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So while as the presentation continued, I was on my phone cancelling my appointments because I realized it was very interesting.
Yes.
And it wasn't only something that my presence here was the fact that, okay, authenticate the presentation.
Right.
But it was actually something for me.
Sure.
Because it spoke on leadership. And
Yes.
leadership basically is about all of us and what we bring to the table.
Yes.
And I am in a position of leadership, but what was truly remarkable is one of the things that I always say when people ask me, I say I'm the number one servant of the city.
Oh, I love that. I love
It
that.
fitted right in
Yeah.
to the presentation this morning.
Yes.
So I felt really at home.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
Big statement.
Yes.
The number one servant in the city.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And today was all about that.
Yeah.
It really touched me in a very emotional way because it's about serving people. It's about making people feel that they can be inspired to do things, and it's all about helping people and engage them in having a better quality of life.
I want to ask you something though, Mayor. You spoke about having children.
Yes.
John Maxwell touched a lot on father, the word father.
Yes.
How did that impact you, if it had any impact at all?
Well, if you ask me, I have a 15-year-old son and 3 daughters before
Wow.
that. And my son actually is more instead of being proud of you, he's not as proud because what happens is every time I drop him to school, I'm in a marked vehicle. And in school, you could be taken as where they badger you and things like
Yes,
that,
yes.
and they give you fatigue because you're bullying it to some extent because your father is the mayor of the city.
Sure.
So you should. It's in other words, it appears that you are more privileged.
Yes.
And he doesn't want to feel like that among himself. So, Daddy, could you drop me, before or not in front of the
by the
school?
corner, and I'll walk the rest.
And I'll walk the rest. And sometimes just recently we had a rental car because the vehicle went into service and it didn't have a mark in it. And he said, Daddy, why can't we keep this instead? So the thing about it, although he is appreciative of the fact that I am adding value to the city and I'm helping people to have a better quality of life, the unfortunate thing about it is that there is a bit of shame in it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But it is, one of the good things is that we are helping, I'm helping myself and my wife, helping him to be a better student, to be a better person. And the thing about it too is that the fact that he doesn't come first in tests and things like this.
Right.
But at the same time, we don't pressure him
Yes.
in being because we realize there are things that he has
That he's excellent at,
that
yes.
he's excellent at. And sometimes we want to push the academics because as I heard one of the speakers this morning, the left side and the right side of your brain, you either better on the left side or you're better on the right side. And some people are better on the right side and some people are just better on the left.
Yes.
So
yes.
he's finding his niche and he's doing the things that he feels because he says to me one day, he says, Daddy, one day I'll take care of you,
Right.
You'll be surprised.
And speaking of the left and the right side, on the left of me and the right
And
of
the
me,
right of you.
I have the Abrahams, the visionaries. behind Live to Lead. The simulcast here happening in TNT, Port of Spain. I just want to hear from you really quickly before we wrap it up. How do you feel about the growth of this event and you know, the persons that it's attracting from all different levels, all different spheres? If you could probably start and she'd wrap it up.
Well, you know, this is an amazing journey for us because a few years ago I joined the John Maxwell team, and I didn't know where that journey will take me, and I've always had a heart for Port of Spain.
Yes.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I felt it was in my destiny to contribute to the value of the city of Port of Spain, and then we started having Live2Lead Port of Spain. And our license is a territorial license, Mr. Mayor, and the license is for Port of Spain.
Oh, good.
And so we are branded Live2Lead Port of Spain. And then we started.
To just take a pin.
Yes.
You are currently in the most beautiful city of the Caribbean.
Oh,
Think about it.
wow.
We're in a very progressive space.
Yes.
Spain,
From
it
Mr.
is.
Mayor,
I feel it.
From the mayor himself.
Yes,
I
yes.
love that. I love that.
Well, from one
So I'm
Port
delighted
of
that you have chosen Port of Spain.
from one Port of Spain man to the other,
other,
you
yeah.
know.
And I'm a Port of Spain man as well myself.
I boast that I grew up in the city.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's too much.
Born and bred here. This is my city.
Excellent.
So I'm at home as well.
Well, she's born in the city, and I went to the city to
Right.
get the city flavor, you know.
Yes.
You know the thing about Port of Spain, I know you're going to continue just now, but just to stick another pin, Port of Spain starts off with POS.
Yes.
And that's the beginning of possibility.
Oh,
And positive.
Wow.
Positivity.
Wow.
Yes.
Positivity.
Yes.
So look at it.
I love that. So you were asking me about the growth, you know.
Yes.
So we started, and this has been a phenomenal for us to be at the Hyatt this year, having such a well-attended event. And what we also did is we wanted to add more significant value than we have done in the past. And so, you know, we wanted to reach out to specific people. And that's how we invited the mayor of Chaguanas, Mayor Boudin.
Yes.
And that's how we reached out to you. Yes, Gopal Boudin. And that's how we reached out to you. And I was sitting there and I was saying to myself, wouldn't it be great if we had invited all the mayors?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we would probably
2020.
That's something I will probably be looking at.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this represents the growth. I mean, him being here, and I think the mayor of Port Chaguanas is going to be here shortly as well.
He's going to be here shortly. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He told us he was running late. You know, this event too is to me, growth is more than just numbers and seats. We have had that. But I think there's a connectedness with relationships
Yes.
that I'm seeing.
Yes.
You know, our growing
Over the years.
relationship.
Yeah.
Meeting the mayor of Port of Spain, hearing his heart,
Yeah.
hearing the positive proclamation. You know, we may be laughing, but that's a serious proclamation.
Wow.
POS
Yeah.
means
Possible
positive,
and positive.
means possibilities, and the most beautiful city.
Yeah.
You know, those are dreams I have,
Yeah.
and I look forward to collaborating with you as far as how we as a company and as an organization, the Live2Lead brand in Port of Spain, how we can add value to the city. You know, and so it's really our pleasure having you with us this year. Thank you for canceling those appointments, and
Thank you for taking time out for you.
Having heard each speaker this morning, one after the other, I will tell you that the pleasure was mine.
Wow.
oh,
I learned a hell of a lot from each one of them. I took a lot of notes.
I saw that.
I did not think I'd be writing so much, but I did, and the pages are all full. So I have takeaways from today, which I think everyone who would have been here today would have benefited from.
Yes. Now I have a question for you, because you know people would think, well, the mayor, and I know there are a lot of Trinidad who said Port of Spain is the most beautiful city of the Caribbean, and I like that. We also have a lot of accomplished business people here.
Yes.
People of all walks of life, Trinidadians have done well. That's something we cannot deny.
Correct.
When we look at the Trinidadians and the diaspora as well, Trinidadians have done very well.
Right.
The question is, sometimes people are thinking, well, to go to Live2Lead Port of Spain, what can they teach me?
Yeah.
You know, maybe I could teach them. You know, you run into that kind of thing, and then a man comes, attends like you, sits on our table along with the esteemed panelists, and then what would you have to say to the people who have achieved a measure of success regarding
Excellent.
attending an event like this?
Well, first of all, in life you're always learning. You heard that if you listen more and you speak less, you get a lot more information than you bargain for, and a lot of your ideas come from listening to people. If you want to get to people, you have to listen and you have to ask the right questions. That I may have known before, but at the same time, how did I know that? I would have gotten it from learning from somewhere.
Yes.
So learning is always is a lifelong journey.
Yes.
I learned a lot this morning from each speaker, and not that they had to say much for me to learn, but the experience that they shared is what helped me.
Yes.
And I would have taken away from it as someone who is in a leadership position, but leadership is not the position.
Correct.
It's about what good that you do with your life. And so some of the takeaways that I wrote down would help me to be a better leader for tomorrow. It will help me to be able to understand that the citizenry of the city of Port of Spain is in need of growth of more leaders, because after I have done my job, I have to also help develop leaders.
Yes.
And there's not a shortage of leaders. It's just that a lot of people don't know that they can't be leaders.
Yeah.
Sure.
And a lot of people go out there thinking that they're failing, but they don't look at their strengths, they don't look at the possibilities that they have, and things like that. So a seminar like this, Live2Lead, is an opportunity for people to grow, for people to be able to take in the John Maxwell experience.
Yes.
And he has a lot of information and a lot of experiences, and he's brought to the table a lot more people. And if you can learn just today to give 60 and get back 40, I think you would have done a fantastic job as an individual.
Yes.
Well, it's been quite an experience here at the Live2Lead Port of Spain 2019. We're having a grand time. We still have the Power Lunch panel, so you want to stick around with us right here at Hyatt Regency for Live2Lead 2019.